Paradise Production.
So what's happening? Welcome back to another edition of the Minor League Take. I'm your host, Brad Case, and today we got Austin Roberts on the podcast. But before we get going with that, please, again, like always, like every week, go check out MILB Advocates. They're a fantastic organization that's helped me and the minor leaguers that are on this podcast. They have helped increase our pay. They have helped get us our housing paid for our season, and they're going to continue to do a lot of incredible work that is truly unbelievable. So if you haven't yet, go check them out. Advocates for Minor League Baseball will be pretty fun, pretty easy to find all over social media. You can donate, you can support however you want. But I really, really hope that you guys do. And as always, you can find this podcast on Instagram and Twitter at MILB Take, and you can find me at Brad_Queso. So please, if you guys can go follow that, that'd be great. Remember, rate, review, subscribe. Really helps me out. If you're on YouTube, like and share, do all that stuff. But as always, enjoy the show, guys. What's up? What's happening? Welcome back to another edition of the Minor League Take. I'm your host, Brad Case, and this week on the podcast, we got Austin Roberts. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Happy to have you back at PC, down here for spring training, get things going. How's been being locked in your room so far?
I mean, it's only been about a day and a half, but once you see, I'm in the backside of the complex, so you're seeing those fields you're getting after. You're trying to get out there and just get going.
Yeah.
But, it's been all right so far. No biggie.
That's good. I see in the corner you got the bed turned over because you used that for a throwing partner for a little bit, right?
Yep, absolutely. Just ripping the plows into those. They gave us a throwing sock, but I just like the feeling of the ball coming out. So
yeah, that's good. That's good. But hey, man, let's start this podcast where we started with everybody. Well, give me an idea of what high school baseball kind of looked like for you.
Super small
Really?
high school. As far as we had a lot of kids there, but it wasn't really a baseball high school. It wasn't super big into the sports. Didn't have a lot of big names come out of there. So just going in, I didn't even start really pitching until my sophomore year of high school. So I caught and played third. Could swing it a little bit, but as all POs think they can always swing it. So, but no, it was good. I was able to play varsity as a sophomore. Grew a lot there. I think I've just seen my growth just keep going and climbing, not just on the baseball side, but just as a man, as a person, a human being. That's the cooler part of everything so far. But like I said, just a super small high school.
What part of California is it?
Northern California, Sacramento, the capital, right in Cali.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, there's not too big. The biggest D1 that was around us was Sac State, which is
where you went, right?
Yep, the school I ended up going to. And I ended up getting seen through one of the teammates I ended up playing with at Sac State.
Okay.
So, it just goes to show that, right place, right time, and you never know who's watching. So
dude, it's all you need sometimes. Did you always kind of look at Sac State as some place that you wanted to play at one day, or was it kind of a second thought?
I had zero clue whatsoever about the recruiting process. I didn't have a lot of people in my baseball group area that were getting looked at and recruited at a Division I colleges and stuff, or two Division I colleges. So I was this was uncharted territory for me, and so I didn't even know Sac State was really I thought it was just a college, just a local college around, and didn't really know about baseball and the sports even over there. So I was just just playing the game, and whatever happened, whatever kind of came my way.
Yeah. But hey, man, you end up getting a spot over at Sac State, and then you end up over there. You played with was Mears there too? He was, right?
Mears was not. He was at the JUCO, the local JUCO at Sac City. Yeah.
Sac City, that's what it was. I knew it was something similar. Yep. But yeah, you get to Sac State. What's kind of your first impressions when you get there? Were you a little overwhelmed, or did you feel pretty confident in yourself when you first showed up?
I felt pretty confident. Just my whole recruiting process going in. So I ended up, they were my only offer, right after my junior year, I want to say, and waited 2 weeks because I didn't know how that process, kind of worked. So, I verbally committed going into my senior year of high school. And then that's where, the notice of like, okay, like this is a possibility of, I can play after high school, and that dream and that stuff is really starting to turn.
All that ball starts to roll.
Yeah. So, I committed, I think it was about a 65% at first. And then, there was the area code games, which I had no idea about, growing up either. Yeah. And I was able to go, to the tryouts, and, I was able to, turn some heads a little bit. I think I was just 89, maybe 91, 92.
Dude, that's impressive. For New York, if you're doing that, you're blowing everybody up. Like mm-hmm. Everyone knows who you are if you're touching 90.
Mm-hmm. And I just was able to, get the invite to the second tryout at the Stockton Ports Field. And that's where the main tryout was. And, just out there, just throwing the ball, just gripping and ripping like I always try and do. And, I ended up making it. And then, that's where the kind of the real realization of dang, I'm not doing enough of the things I need to do to get me to the next level. Cause, I go down there in Long Beach and I see, all these guys going to these big colleges, and, guys that aren't even committed that are just going to get drafted possibly. So, that just opens my eyes to, how special of an opportunity I really do have ahead of me. So, I go down there and I pitch well. I ended up throwing 5 innings, spread out across a couple days. And then my velo just ticked up. I think just with the atmosphere, that was kind of first atmosphere.
The adrenaline, the juice is getting going.
Oh yeah. So
what was it like? Was it just scouts just covered everywhere?
Yeah. There was just head coaches or head college coaches, assistant college coaches, and, even pro scouts, pro area scouts. I'm sure there was cross checkers and a whole bunch of people there just to, see all these, great talented baseball players just do their thing at this one event. And, my first outing, I think I ended up being 91 to 94. And, I was wow. Dang, I didn't even know I had that in me. So,
wow.
Just the eye-opening experience of okay, I'm getting better, just being surrounded by this competition. I can't wait to, go to college and be surrounded by more competition and just be kind of a product of my environment, along with the work ethic and the stuff that I bring into my daily routines and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, that is pretty sick, especially,
I'm just going about doing that.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm here.
Sorry. Okay. My bad. It lagged a little bit. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying, that was a cool experience, and, it was just awesome to see, myself get pushed by just the environment around me, and then, the stuff that I do in my day-to-day life.
Yeah, that's pretty unreal, man. I know through my own experience, my first experience with playing college summer ball, I went there and oh my God, all these guys are big D1 schools. I went to a small D2. And you said yourself earlier, there was all those guys there that were these big D1, they're committed to these big D1 names and guys possibly going to the draft. But dude, you walk right in there and it sounds like you're riding with all of them. You are just as competitive. You were just as ready to go as the rest. That give you just a huge confidence boost going into college.
It boosted my confidence a lot more. And that's when kind of more schools and stuff, the bigger offers and the bigger interest started coming my way. Was after that first outing. I think I got a couple calls from U of A, UNR, just other schools, bigger schools, quote unquote, than, Sac State, where I ended up going. But, I was just I think this is my progression I need to take. I don't want to be these guys that just gonna, decommit and then commit somewhere else and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And especially with Sac State, it was so close to home. My family's in town. There's a lot of friends in town too, and I love the city of Sacramento. I rep that thing so hard. This is my buddy's brand. It says Sac, and then it's got our downtown bridge on it.
Oh, I was wondering what that was. It looks like a White Sox hat, and I was that's pretty aggressive to wear around PC.
Exactly. So, I ended up the last day. I ended up driving back home, and my head coach of Reggie Christensen ended up calling me. He's the head coach at Sac State still to this day. He was like, "Hey, would you mind coming straight to the school? We'd love to talk to you." And I'm like, it's 8:30 in the morning. We're just getting on the road, leaving Long Beach, and that drive home's about a 6.5, 7 hour drive.
Wow.
So I'm going straight from Long Beach straight to Sac State to have a meeting with the coaches. And, my mom and dad are there, and, all the coaches, and they're like, hey, you really impressed us with, how you performed down there. And you showed that, you got a lot better in this short amount of time. And we just want to honor you and reward you by staying, committed to us and being on our side. And, I ended up getting a full ride scholarship. And, I almost broke down in tears. My family was super excited, super happy because, my family's not really well off. So I don't think,
Yeah.
school was going to be an option unless baseball was, in the picture. So, I was just very blessed and very happy that, my parents didn't have to worry about, the financial side of going to college.
Yeah, man, that is really, really special. And the fact that you could do that for your family, I mean, they couldn't have been any more proud of you in that moment. And you just, I mean, now you're playing pro. You're giving them even more reasons to be proud each and every day, which is really cool, Austin.
Definitely get my strength from my mom and pops. And, I just one day want to give back as much as they have to me. And, that's what's really pushing me and keeping me going.
That's awesome, man. That's really special. But hey, dude, you get to Sac State, and you tear it up immediately. It looks like, you generated pro interest and you got yourself drafted by the Pirates. What was the kind of the experience of going through that, of like when did, all right, the best way I like to put it on this podcast is everyone has that if to when moment that, it stops being if I get drafted to when I get drafted. When did that initially like kind of click for you and you go, oh shit, like this is going to happen? Because you're already hitting mid-90s though before you even walk onto campus.
Yeah, exactly. And even my freshman year was a huge test in itself because, the fall I was, blowing doors off guys and, I was pitching really well. And, I ended up being a fall American is what they call it. And, I didn't end up performing to the best of my capabilities and my, my standards during the season. So I ended up with a 4-1 record somehow. And I think I had 14 no decisions, which I could have easily been like 4-17 my freshman year. So, just battling that and battling being the quote unquote bigger recruit on campus, and not performing to that, that took a toll on me, off the field and in the classroom too. And, I was barely eligible to play. My freshman year, I ended up getting a 1.8 and barely escaping by. I always for some reason in my life, I always want to learn things the hard way rather than just doing it and learning from, the people around me. But, I definitely think that's helped me grow. And then, fast forward into my sophomore year, I started my freshman year, and then my sophomore year, I was out of the bullpen for, 95% of the season and made one start at the end in the conference tournament. So I think coming out of the bullpen, obviously the velo ticked up a little more. I was like sitting 95, and then I was up to, I think I hit a couple 8s my sophomore year.
Holy shit. As a 19-year-old.
Yeah. So I was feeling really good. And I think I was 18 still because my birthday's in July. So I was a little younger behind the curve. God. So, I'm doing a lot better. Obviously, the whole 180 switch around from my freshman year to my sophomore year, obviously the role change and just being in better shape. I was 250 pounds my freshman year of college after that season was over.
You were 250?
250.
Bro, how tall are you?
I'm 6 foot, right on the dot. So I got to
fucking coming down the mountain with everything you got.
Yeah, and my balls were cutting, they were sinking, they were going anywhere except in the strike zone. So I actually have a picture handy on me right now, so I can show you real quick. This was my freshman year of college.
God damn, look at him.
So he's just a burly man up there. And then I ended up losing about 45 pounds, maybe 40 pounds, in that summer going into my sophomore year.
Christ, what'd you do? Work on a farm all year? What happened?
I got put on a strict diet, and I worked out 6 days a week, 3 days lifting, 3 days of conditioning, and just I guess that turning factor was I was working some college summer camps for my college, and our head coach is there. And like, I was just eating the lunches, just saving money, just eating the lunches that they brought the kids. And
Yeah.
I think it was hot dogs one day, and I had like 2 or 3 hot dogs. And my head coach comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Robbie." And I was like, "What's up, Reg?" He goes, "You want to play this game past college, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And he goes, "Well, you're fat, so it's not going to be an option if you keep eating and do the things you do."
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously nobody likes getting called fat. They definitely take that to heart. And, especially how my freshman year went, that definitely hurt a little deeper. So I called my dad up right after, and I was like, "Hey, Dad, like Reggie called me fat. Like, I need to figure it out. I need to get the ball rolling and get in shape, because I want to play this game at the next level and achieve these goals that I talk so much about."
Yeah.
So, like I said, worked out 6 days a week, 3 weights, three conditioning, and just, my weights coach, the first 2 weeks, I was like 245. And then the following week I came back at 247. And he closes the door, our strength coach, and he goes, "If you ever want to come back in this gym, you better fucking weigh less than you did the week before." So, I mean, that was definitely an incentive too, because obviously I want to keep working out and I want to get better. But if I'm not holding myself accountable to, at least dropping, a pound or 2 every week, those resources are going to be stripped from me. So that was definitely an eye-opening experience in that as well.
Yeah.
And then,
dude, that's intense. I mean, it sounds like I'm similar. I feel like I do better when somebody gets in my face and lights a fire under my ass. And it sounds like the same way. I wish we were different. I wish we could just be like, all right, we'll have to do A, B, and C. Let's just go do A, B, and C before I get yelled at.
Yep.
But it's more fun.
It is. It's always fun trying to learn things on your own and failing on your own and learning your lessons by yourself. And then I got invited to play in the Cape Cod League after my sophomore year.
Where'd you go?
I was supposed to go to Falmouth.
Okay.
I didn't end up going. Just talking with, my head coach at the time, he just thought it was a better idea of me just staying and, doing the same kind of process and getting stronger and preparing there. And, it is what it is. There's no regrets and stuff like that. Obviously, looking back, obviously it would have been a great opportunity to, get more exposure. But, for me, I try and live, everything happens for a reason. It comes and goes as it is. I'm going to be okay at the end of the day. Everything always is. So, and then finally my junior year, I think I was, on the radar just because being invited to the Cape Cod League is a good achievement, is a great achievement in itself. I definitely thought I was on some radars and, had started talking to scouts my junior year, and, there was some interest early in the fall. And then, it's just about, being consistent and going through your season. And, towards the end, I got, what guys call it draftitis.
I haven't heard this before. What's that?
Draftitis is like guys that are in their draft eligible year, their junior year, whenever they're able to get drafted, they just put so much psychological pressure on themselves.
I was 100% one of those guys. I didn't play as well. I wasn't throwing as hard. I just got so far in my own head, and I don't know. Did you start getting that though?
More towards the end of the season.
Okay.
And it was weird because as much as I didn't think about it up here, it was always being thought about back here.
Yeah.
It was always on the back of my mind, and it would always come up when I did have a bad outing. And then it would slowly I'd take that bad attitude into the day after and then 2 days after, and then it would take me a while to kind of snap back into it and just be like, hey, I'm here for Sac State, and I got to do whatever I can to help the team win before I got to worry about myself.
Exactly.
So, just going through that, I split time. I was relieving and closing and starting my junior year.
You were just throwing the baseball for coach whenever he asked you to.
Yep, pretty much. And, that's kind of like what I love doing the most, is whatever I can do to just get the ball in my hand at a cool time, at a high adrenaline time, that definitely, helped me grow on the mound, because, I have some good ones and then I have some bad ones, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta figure out what I did wrong to make sure that something like that doesn't happen again.
It's all about learning and growing and finding any lesson you can through something.
Yep.
If you can learn,
Absolutely.
if you can learn from a bad experience, then it's ultimately a positive
Exactly,
experience.
exactly.
Yeah.
And just super grateful for all that. And let's see, my so I would say that your to answer your original question, I think just right after getting that invitation to the Cape, I was like, okay, that there's an opportunity where I can get drafted at a good spot, and run from that and get the first step of my goals and my aspirations. I can get that check off. Yeah, I could check
Yeah.
that off the list.
You start going, oh shit, like pro ball is something that's now like feasible, something that's gonna, is most likely in the future. And then you talked about sophomore year and I saw the numbers, how good you did then. And junior year, draftitis, going through all the pressure. Did you start getting, what was the excitement like though, when you start getting the letters and start getting some meetings and stuff like that? I remember for myself, like I couldn't like believe what was happening to me. And it's still like I have to remind myself all the time that I do play pro ball because it's just fun and it's unreal. But did you was it like, were you dumbfounded at first?
Yeah, I was just like, dang, it was kind of cool. I was like, dang, there was a couple of my other teammates getting these too. And I was like, man, there's really a chance that, someone's going to take a chance on me. And, thankfully enough, the Pirates did. And,
Yeah.
I'm here now and just, continuing that same grind and trying to, get better every day and learn from my mistakes and, my bad outings and my good outings. So, I
Exactly.
mean, everything's a learning experience, day in and day out.
Yeah. So being from Sacramento, I mean, Mears obviously is from there too. For anyone listening that doesn't know about Nick Mears, I highly encourage you guys go check out that episode too, because he's got a really, really wonderful story about, just overcoming some really tough stuff. But did you guys know each other before that? Or was it kind of like, oh, wow, this kid, Nick from town got drafted or he got signed by the Pirates and now I'm getting drafted by the Pirates. How did that all kind of go down?
There was I don't think me and Nick met until I want to say when we got sent home from COVID in 2020, right after that.
Wow. Yeah.
Because we actually work out at the same facility, Optimum Athletics, over in Sacramento. So I was
Okay.
able just to be around him and obviously hear his story and hear the things he takes into every day. He doesn't lack confidence, that's for sure, and he has a great chip on his shoulder, and the things that he's been through really push him for his goals, and he's inspiring in his own way as well. But as far as like I didn't know, we didn't know much of each other. But I'm glad I know him now, and it's
Yeah.
even cooler that he's with the Pirates, and there's somebody I can go back home to and just talk about things that the Pirates are doing and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You always have a throwing partner at home now.
Exactly.
It's good. It works out pretty well. Then like you said, well, actually, before I ask about that, dude, you get drafted. What was draft day like for you and your family? Is there any cool story there?
Yeah, I mean, it was in my college house. I think it was my dad and like 3 or 4 of my roommates at the time, and we just kicked it and watched it. And I was getting calls every once in a while from my agent and from from some teams, and I mean it was day 2, and I was just getting super excited and super anxious, and then I was like, there was a possibility in the 6th with the Pirates and the 7th, and I was like, oh man, and then it didn't happen, and I was just like, dang it. And then obviously the 8th round came around, and I got a call from my agent, and I think my area scout at the time, and was just like, hey, we're gonna take you here, and just set up the camera. I told one of my buddies, and I was like, hey, do you mind like recording this? And then I was able to get my dad's just raw super emotional reaction of just like, yeah,
That's awesome.
So it was cool. And then some of my teammates came over from Sac State. The college houses were all kind of around the corner from each other. So
Yeah.
it was cool just to have that little quick moment, and then just my phone blowing up with all the people that support me and root me on through this journey.
Dude, that is fantastic, man. That's really cool. Yeah, I got lucky too. My little brother set up a little camera in the corner and got to capture that, and I'll watch it every once in a while. And that I think is like being able to have that video to like go back and watch your parents' reaction is something so special, and like it's such a great way to relive that memory.
Yeah, it's definitely just, you know, sometimes it's surreal just going back and just, you know, seeing my dad's reaction and my teammates' reaction. One of my teammates ended up, we played Little League together, high school, and then, you know, my last year at Sac City together, and he was there. So it was definitely an awesome moment having him there too.
That's fantastic, dude. That is really, really cool. But like we said, you get drafted by the Pirates, you get shipped out to Morgantown, West Virginia. What are your first impressions of that place and your new teammates that don't even speak English? What do you think?
It was crazy. I mean, I've always heard the rumors of, you know, the pro ball travel, the pro ball food, the pro ball, you know, crazy long bus rides and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So just going in there and just being a part of it so quickly was really cool. But, you know, you have to, and I like to think I'm super like this outgoing, loud person in the clubhouse, and just, you know, day by day, and, you know, I try and be positive as much as I can. You know, it took me a while just to open up and just make some connections in the clubhouse, and, you know, it was really cool just to, you know, open up once I was able to, because, you know, staying in the shell is definitely something I don't like doing.
I was gonna say, dude, you need like zero introduction, dude. When I remember last spring training when you showed up, it wasn't even. I didn't even see you. I heard you from down the hall. I go, oh, he's here. All right.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely try the best just to keep the mood light, you know, because there's so much stress that, you know, people in general, not just baseball players, go through.
Yeah.
You know, that, you know, if I can just try and be positive as I can, and just try and ooze this brightness and this positivity, hopefully, you know, it'll help some people out throughout, you know, their day. You know, you never know what people are kind of battling every day. So
Yeah, you definitely do a good job of keeping things light, to say the least. But yeah, dude, Joe, you play your first season, dude, you do awesome. You put up some great numbers. And then you go into, you know, you come back for the next year and you're all excited to, you know, start your career, your first full season, get really going with everything. And then boom, COVID hits, and we all have to deal with the bullshit now. And but like you said earlier, you're lucky enough to be able to, you know, continue your training. Sorry. You're lucky enough to continue your training and keep things going out there with Mears. And I remember seeing some crazy videos of him throwing just the shit out of the ball. Dude, that must have been some like special training right there. Just, you know, with the COVID bubble and like keeping yourselves, you know, keeping all that together. Was that a pretty special environment?
it was. And I mean, who else was there? Shorty was there.
Shorty was there. Yeah.
There's a guy named Kevin Gowdy. He was with the Phillies at the time and got traded last year to the Rangers.
I was gonna say, I've heard that name. Yeah.
And there was just a bunch of hardworking indie ball guys in there too. And just, I mean, just like I said, just having that around you makes you want to push yourself even harder. And obviously seeing Maris throw the shit out of the ball, pulling down 103, you're just like, all right, like obviously
blowing up Glass records.
Yep. And just, yeah. I mean, obviously being in the same organization and, you know, having the, you know, the friendship and the companionship that we have for each other, you know, we're working for the same goal. You know, we're both relievers, we're both right-handed relievers, and, you know, it gives that extra edge in that aspect too. So, you know, I'm grateful for, you know, having that space and that, those guys and the trainers and the players that they're able to bring in and have there. So it was really, really fun just going in there and getting a lot better too. I mean, I saw my game change from, you know, when I got drafted in 2019 to, you know, when I came back for the full year for after COVID, you know, I really saw the numbers and the stuff, you know, tick up and, you know, just become better and just, you know, learn my body better. So, you know, definitely having that resource during that time was really awesome to have.
That's fantastic, man. Yeah, dude, move through all that mess of COVID and all that. But like you said, you know, you get to start last year, you get to get going and you get your first full season experience, and you get to go to Greensboro too, which is, dude, my favorite place that I've ever been to live at and play at the whole time. Because I talked last episode with Kanan, my favorite stadium of all time is playing at Charleston in South Carolina.
Okay.
River Dog Stadium. That's my favorite place I've ever played at, but Greensboro is my favorite home stadium I've ever had. That just the environment of getting, I don't know how actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm sure you guys had COVID restrictions on how many people could be there, but like I remember when I was there in 19, like 5,000-6,000 people, like getting there and chanting biscuits the whole time was a ton of fun.
Yep, they still had the Biscuitville biscuit champs,
Yeah.
every single day, and obviously they had the restrictions early on. But I mean, you can just tell that that city in itself cares a lot about the Grasshoppers and that
Yeah.
organization, and the Pirates are lucky enough to be a part of that organization where a small city like that cares about their program and about their players. So it was cool seeing there. And then once, the COVID restrictions kind of lifted a little bit, it was awesome seeing, like, we were out to practice, getting ready for pregame, and, we see him cutting the zip ties to all the things. And we're like, okay, like, it's going to start getting popping.
Yeah.
Or should I say hopping is what they say over there. So it's going to get hopping over there. But it was fun. It was definitely fun. The atmosphere, the surroundings, pretty much being in downtown Greensboro. It actually reminded me a lot of, back home in Sacramento, because we have the AAA for the affiliate for the Giants, the River Cats there.
Yeah.
And right outside downtown. And, it just reminded me a lot of that. So it felt like a home away from home for sure. So I was definitely excited to, get there and just play, not worry about all the BS and the sitting out and, the things that I was going through in my life. I was just there just to chuck the rock and just have fun with a group of guys that, I'm grateful to call, my good friends now.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it looked like you guys had a shit ton of fun, because that Young Bucks pit page was there like for a ton of time with you guys. Holy crap. I saw like just so much fun video, like so much cool stuff. And I try to use this word as little as possible because it makes me cringe, but you guys really did have way too much swag going on over there.
I mean, especially having guys like Pagero and
Dude,
Bear
Peggy and Tanaj.
We had a lot of characters and a lot of personalities that really ended up meshing really, really, really well together. And there was a lot of bond, and I think just their overall vibe or swagger, like you said, we had in the clubhouse. We ended up bringing out into the field, and we just balled out for each other, and it was just fun. It was just next guy up, and whoever was out there, we were ride or die for, and it was fun. It was really fun.
Dude, you guys had some crazy moments, like the Will Matheson game where he came in a pitch, blew the lead, and then hit a home run to walk it off. Like,
yeah,
so many fun moments, man. Is there one that stands at the forefront of your mind when you think about your time in Greensboro?
Definitely that one. Definitely Will coming in. I mean, I played against Will in college when he went to Stanford, and he did both pitch. He pitched and hit, and I was like, oh, we're gonna be good. Will pitched and then he had given up like a 5 spot or something, and then we were like, oh, and then we started ticking away, and then he comes up, and we're like, there's no way, and the ball flies in Greensboro. I think the final score was like 16-15, just an absolute barn burner there.
Yeah.
And just, I think that like the total duration of the game was like just over 6 hours. And I'm just like, man. So just going in there, and I think that happened on a Saturday. So we had to come back early for a day game on a Sunday. So just, those emotions, we were just, exhausted from that. But, I think we fed off that and just, kept it going into Sunday. So I think that's definitely the one that sticks out a lot for me.
Jeez, that is unreal. That is pretty sick. I remember checking the box score. Like I'll check it. Ooh, excuse me. I'll check the box score like every couple of days, just like when I'm bored, when I wake up in the morning. And I remember seeing that and being like, what the fuck happened last night? Like, what in the world is going on down there?
Yeah.
But dude, you guys had a talented group. You guys made it all the way to the championship. Like, holy shit, I am jealous. What was that like?
It was good. We were really good. Like, I mean, we ended up clinching with, I think, 3 or 4 more regular season games. And, we were excited, especially going against Bowling Green, the Tampa Bay Rays high A team. They were really good. It was us and them pretty much battling for the first seed in our side of the division. And then, ultimately playing them in the championship for the best of 5. And then that even got put on pause, and we got postponed the first 2 days. We were supposed to start on a Tuesday, and we ended up getting pushed back to a Thursday because of weather.
Oh man.
So everybody was just chomping at the bit, but it was good for us because everybody was fresh. Everybody was fresh, and we were just ready to go. and then we ended up, losing. But, I mean, just having that experience and playing playoff, baseball after not playing,
Yeah.
for almost for a full calendar year, just playing a season with those guys and coming together and, able to, put a good product on the field and, have success with each other and then taking it into playoffs. It was really fun. And, I'm excited for
Dude.
more playoff baseball, hopefully. In the future.
Yeah, that is the goal, man. Playing baseball in October is ultimately what our goal is. And you guys had the talent in that group up and down. I mean, I'm thinking about it right now. Let's see, you guys had 4 first rounders on that team.
I believe
With
so.
Nick
Yeah.
Gonzalez, Henry Davis gets there later in the summer. Priester, and then Majinski.
Yep.
Just talent up and down. It's insane. Like, I mean, Lowe won the championship. You guys lost in the championship. I know my team, the Curve, we didn't have the greatest record, but we also lost Castro to the big leagues for a couple months. We lost Contreras to an injury. We lost Cruz to an injury. Like we have the guys up and down. And I know once all of us start getting to Pittsburgh, once we all start arriving, man, it's going to be terrifying. It is going to be scary for everybody.
Absolutely. It's definitely fun seeing guys grow too, and just being like, man, we were just in like I said, we were in West Virginia or Morgantown. Now these guys are, making their debuts and things like that. So it's definitely, seeing those guys accomplish their goals, makes you want to work harder and get there too. So
yeah, it's more or less the same group too. Like you're gonna notice, like it's just the same guys you've been playing with your whole life. You just stick with each other.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. But dude, the year ends and you're packing up your bag, and all of a sudden it's not the end of the year. You find out some good news. How'd that all go down? Matt, did Kyron just pull you into his office?
Yeah, I mean, I pitched game 5, the game we ended up losing and heading home. So, I'm pretty upset, and, we just lost, and, having a great year and, having an up and down year, and just, finishing the year strong and, getting better. Just looking forward to getting to the off season, just getting that rest and getting to work on the things that I need to work on. But then, Kyron calls me in, and Hop was there. Hop was our pitching coach for the last couple weeks of the season. They called me in. They were like, hey, you had a great year here, but, you're not done. You're going to go up to AAA and you're going to pitch, you're going to have an opportunity to pitch one of the 5 games you're there. And I was just like, what? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm just like fired up. And then, 3 other guys ended up getting the call too. So me and Bear, we ended up driving from Bowling Green, Kentucky that night and driving straight to Indianapolis. And it was just super fun. We were just talking about it. Like, man, we were just, in Bowling Green, Game 5 of the championship, and now we're heading over to a whole new team, a whole new clubhouse, whole new people, and a whole new type of competition that we didn't know about.
And it's all at the front doorstep of the big leagues, like the ultimate goal. It's right there.
Yep. And then as far as like how big of a change it was a big change. Just the overall, the energy and the vibe and the clubhouse was just different. Seeing guys get called up to the show. I was there when O'Neill got his call to the bigs.
Holy shit.
And I was just like, man, I've met you 2 days, but like, hey, good luck. So, I mean, it just puts in perspective of, how close it really is and how close, the opportunity of the bigs really is. And, you're knocking on the door and, like you said, Castro going straight from AA to the bigs, it just shows, how close that opportunity really is.
Yeah. How scary and how much fun is it to play with O'Neill? I know he only got it for 5 days, but it's unreal.
It's crazy. Everything that comes off his bat is different. It's hard, and just watching him, it's really entertaining. And I think I can firmly say he's the best baseball player I've seen with my 2 eyes. And I only got to see him play for 2 games.
Dude, so. No doubt. He's got a arm like I've never seen. He runs like I've never seen, and he hits the ball like I've never seen. So he's gonna be fun to watch for many, many years to come. But yeah, man, dude. Kind of as we wind down though, dude, we're spring training's pretty much started. You're at PC. What are you hoping to accomplish this year? What's kind of like the things you see yourself getting done?
Yeah, I mean, just obviously getting better day in and day out. The things that are just getting 1% better, no matter how cliche that may sound. That's
Yeah,
really how I think. Like I'm trying to get 1% better of whatever aspect of the game or not the game, gives to me. So just taking everything into account of that, and just keep working, and hopefully, have a chance to fight for a AAA spot or a AA spot wherever they seem fitting for me. And it's
yeah,
just I understand that my time will come. It's just being patient and checking those boxes along the way. So it is just enjoying the process. I people talk about going back and smelling the roses. I think the garden's like kind of the finished product, and the roses are the things you're kind of working towards. And so once it's all said and done, you can go back and actually smell the roses and check out that pretty cool garden. So I'm just in a very blessed position to have an opportunity to turn some heads, and just go out and throw the thing and just grip it and rip it, and
exactly.
whatever comes my way comes my way. So I'm just super ecstatic and super excited for this year to come.
That's awesome, man. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to hopefully get a chance to play with you and see what you can do with my own two eyes. And like I've said on this podcast a couple of times now, when we get to these upper levels, when we get to AA, AAA, dude, every year is possibly the year where we get to break into the big leagues, and our name is forever up there as one of the 10. I think it's like something around 11,000 big leaguers at this point throughout all history. So hopefully, man, this year could be the year.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Likewise.
So hey, as we wrap up here, man, there's two questions I'd like to ask everybody before we go. First one, when are you and the Pittsburgh Pirates going to win the World Series? When do we take it all?
Man, I say 2023 or 2024. I think those are some good years. The Jordan or Kobe year, one of those years.
You got us next year?
Yeah. I think so. I think there's some talent. There's some guys that are going to get thrown in the fire, and they're going to stick. And it's going to be really awesome. It's going to be some awesome debuts. I mean, like you said, we see these guys every single day, and then we get to see them on TV, and we just root for them, and it's fun. So
It's a lot of fun.
I think there's a chance for some playoff baseball. I mean, I'm definitely optimistic just being with the Pirates. So I mean, as soon as we can get there and help out, let's do it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Last question though, I like to ask before we go. If you can go back in time, talk to 16-year-old Austin Roberts, what kind of advice would you tell him for him to attack his future and for him to move forward?
Oh, enjoy it, man. And I'm finally learning to just enjoy the good days and the bad days of baseball, because, you don't know when this game's going to end for us. You don't know when we have to hang up the cleats and go into the real world, instead of, getting to wake up every day and throw a baseball for our job. So,
Yeah,
just keep going, keep at it. And, life's too short to just worry about the bad and stress about the things that haven't even happened yet. So it's super fun.
that's awesome, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Instagram, arobbie_17. I'm on Twitter every once in a while. I don't tweet much, just like looking at stuff that, I follow.
Yeah.
And, I'm just doing the thing, man.
Sounds good. Austin, thank you again for coming on. Really appreciate it. Everyone go find him on social media. And I'll see you. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, man.
Yes, sir. See you tomorrow. Thanks for having me again. Go Bucks. Let's do it, baby.